Good evening, viewers, and welcome. 'Tis I, your script keeper and host, Russell. Tonight I have the pleasure of presenting to you scary stories submitted from patrons all across Washoe County. We had 63 submissions this year, and while they were all real scream to read, we couldn't include them all. So, a panel of ghouls have selected 9 of their favorites to present to you over 4 episodes. These stories are only for the most courageous, so if you're feeling brave, why don't you grab a seat and join me? Clowns, dolls, ghosts, we have a little of everything to send shivers down your spine and make your skin crawl. So I present to you Shivery, 3 chilling tales of horror. Our first story of this evening is all about being alone on the scariest night of the year, Halloween.
You're home alone on Halloween. You're very happy to be home alone. It's turning dark outside. Your mom's at work until midnight, and you're watching TV. You hear your doorbell ring. You walk to the door. No one's there. You get goosebumps. You hear something behind you. You turn around, and it's a skeleton. It says,
"I'll give you candy if you don't tell. Candy corn? Chocolate?"
It disappears. You run to your phone to call your mom. It's dead. You go to your room, and in your closet, you say, "My house is haunted." Then you hear something say,
"Yes, it is."
And you look around, you say, "Hello? I'm not scared of you." And it says,
"Okay."
You scream. It's all of your stuffed animals. They're alive. And the skeleton. They bring you to a secret room where you think, "Where am I?" And you say, "It's cold." And they yell, Shut up! And tape your mouth shut. You wiggle around. You get free. You run, and they tase you. You pass out, and everything goes black. You wake up. You're strapped down to a table. You try talking, but your mouth is taped shut. You get goosebumps. You try to move, but you can't. There are 6 straps, 1 on both legs and arms, 1 on your neck, and 1 over your stomach. There's a clock. It says 11:59. The clock ticks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You hear a knock. They open the door and yell,
"Mom's home!"
And all of a sudden, you wake up. You're in your bed. It was all a dream.
Clearly, there are scarier things than being alone. Now, I'm glad you're all here. More victims for the Inkman. I mean, the more the merrier, of course. Huh. Well, our next story of this evening is all about the dangers of doodling.
It was yet another normal, boring day at high school back in the year 2000. The boy pulled his new Sharpie from his pocket. Him and his friends joked around.
"Permanent, huh? I'm gonna go tag the bathroom,"
He said, with all his friends, Dennis, Billy, and Jesse, laughing and joking about what foul thing to write on the stalls. They decided on a little stick figure man with a sinister smile and the words, "The Inkman is watching." The bell rang, and the kids all fled back to class. The day went on, yet another boring day at school. The night came, and the boys all returned home, eating dinner and going to bed. As the boy closed his eyes, he kept hearing strange, scraping sounds before a glass shattered out in the living room. The boy ran out to see what happened, his parents following behind.
"What have you done?"
They exclaimed. His mother's favorite urn lay smashed on the floor.
"What? It wasn't me."
He tried to explain, but before he could even finish his sentence,
"To your room. You're grounded. And you can forget about Halloween."
his mother scolded. Frustrated, the boy stormed back to his room, eventually getting to sleep. He returned to school the next day, explaining the weird event to his friends. "Oh, sure, bud. It was ghosts," they teased. In frustration, he returned to the bathroom for some peace and quiet, where he noticed the stick figure he drew yesterday. Amused by this, he pulled the marker out of his pocket to add some more doodles, but then noticed the words written had changed, now reading,
One by one, the Inkman singles you out.
He dropped the Sharpie in shock. Rushing out of the bathroom, he ran to his friends, before stopping himself, knowing he would only get bullied. He chose not to say anything. After all, this was impossible. Some other kid must have just changed the words. The night comes and goes. The next day at school, Jesse is missing. Oh yeah, I guess Jesse completely unbolted his grandma's bed frame last night, and when she got into bed, she fell and got hurt. So he won't be in today. I guess his parents are pretty mad, Billy explained as he lived next door to Jesse. What? That's not like him at all. He's always such a goody two-shoes, replied Dennis.
Yeah, that's strange. I guess he's finally starting to live a little,
replied the boy with a laugh, before they all went on about their day. Second period started, and he had to use the restroom again. This time, he immediately noticed bolts scattered across the tiled floor. Once again, the words had changed.
Soon the Inkman will start. The finale
Was now written. He ran back out, forgetting to even use the restroom in the first place, and tried to explain to Billy and Dennis. As he expected, they laughed at him. We aren't stupid. Your spooky story, 10 days before Halloween? Sure, bud, Dennis responded. Frustrated, he also thought it must be some sort of coincidence, and finished out the day before returning home.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad,
he said as he entered his home, but he was not responded to. He looked around and found the house to be empty.
That's strange. They never are out this late,
he said, waiting for them to arrive. Hours passed before he got frustrated and very hungry. He picked up the landline phone and tried to call his dad's work, but there was no response. The rest of the night, there's no sign of his parents at all. As 8 o'clock comes, he finally pours himself a bowl of cereal. After eating, he decides to go find Jesse. Climbing upon his bike, he rode over to Jesse's house, knocks on the door, and it slowly creaked open.
Jesse?
He calls out. Entering the house, there was no sign of anyone, but the furniture was all in chaos, with shattered glass on the floor. As he entered the bathroom on the first floor, he saw a hunched-over stick figure with a cane, a tall stick figure, and a small stick figure, all drawn on the mirror with Sharpie, resembling the stick figure families of windows on cars. The boy started to panic. Grabbing his bike, he quickly rode back to school. Trying to get inside, he found all the doors locked. In frustration, he started to look around. Finding a large rock over by the playground, he picks it up and shatters a window and climbs inside. He then runs to the bathroom and sees the stick figure with an even bigger smile than before.
One more day, Inkman will take you too,
it is written. Frantically, the boy wadded up some toilet paper and wet it in the sink, wiping as hard as he could to try and clean off the figure, seemingly to no avail against the permanent ink. He picks up some of the hardware scattered on the floor and scratches off as much of the words as he can, eventually scraping away all the paint and removing the stick figure entirely. Scooping up the paint, he quickly flushes the flakes down the toilet. A feeling of relief overwhelms the boy. Quickly, he returns to Jesse's house, where he could see the door was closed and the lights turned back on. He saw Jesse up in his room through the window. He smiles in relief before returning home himself. His parents were inside as if nothing happened.
Mom! Dad!
He exclaimed.
Where were you?
They responded.
We were worried sick.
1 sec. I need to use the bathroom so bad,
he said. As he runs inside of the bathroom and turns on the lights, he notices a large, Sharpie figure drawn on the mirror. A larger Inkman, with writing,
10 days until Halloween. 10 days until Inkman takes you too.
The Inkman will get you, and you, and you too. Well, I've got to go. My old doodle buddy has penciled me in for dinner. Join me tomorrow night for more creepy tales.